Number one, I have 45 minutes because of reservation constraints in my gym. How could I get a good growth workout in a short amount of time? Say 30, 45 minutes. So he's still in a growth phase. This is from Doug.
Okay, Doug. Personally, because of my personal schedule, I can relate to this because of my schedule of time to be able to train. I try to keep my workouts between 30 to 45 minutes so that way I can just really make sure I get them done, number one, and I can maximize my effectiveness. And the way that I do that is basically what I'm going to share with you is what I'm actually personally doing right now. And those are what's called a 777 workout. So it's an FST7 workout that uses FST7 for the first exercise, FST7 for the second exercise, and FST7 for the third exercise. So basically, you've seen FST7 used at the very end of a workout, or you see an FST7 sets happen or work in the beginning of a workout, which we call like the preloads. But this one would be literally all three exercises. So a great example was my workout from a couple of days ago when I did legs. It was extensions, doing FST7 style. Then I went in and I did FST7 for leg press. And then I went in and I did FST7 for hack squat. And so again, it was a quad workout. And got it done all within 30 to 45 minutes. And they were sevens all the way through. So that means that you're taking 45 seconds to rest in between your sets. Sometimes as quick, as short as 30 seconds of rest. And that really helps maximize the effectiveness of the intensity, but it also helps a little bit of cardio too, because your heart rate is going to be going. And then in between the exercises, I was taking about a 3 to 5 minute rest in between the exercises, but just to be able to catch my breath so I wouldn't get too tired. But between the sets, again, standard FST7, 30 to 45 seconds. Some will go a little bit longer on legs. Some people will go 45 seconds to a minute. Again, that's all personal preference depending on how heavy you go. But on the smaller body parts, it's always 30 seconds. But that's what I would suggest.
That's a lot of volume for sure in a short amount of time. Do you think people take too long in the gym? Do you think 2 hours is necessary?
No, I think 2 hours is not necessary. I think you're going to have your 2 hour workout if you once in a while are going to do a really like a crazy workout. You got a buddy or two in there and you guys are all killing it old school style and you're doing legs and that could take 2 hours because you might be, taking a little bit more time to wait for the other person to do their set, especially if there's like an extra person in besides a workout partner. But for the most part, you want to keep your workouts to 45 minutes to an hour maximum. And then on legs, obviously you need a little bit longer workouts, especially if you end up doing quads and hams together, then it's going to be a longer workout. But yeah, I mean, these guys that are doing 2 hours, you got to keep your texting sets in between, a little bit lower. So that's
okay. All right. Number two, when you have weak points such as arms, so it can be anything, but we'll just go with arms for this question. Is it best to implement a whole workout to biceps and a whole workout towards triceps? What tips would you have in terms of bringing up lagging body parts? And what volume or workout intensifiers would you implement in terms of bringing up these body parts? From our man, Snippety Dippity.
Snippety Dippity Doc. All right. So that's a multifaceted question. So no, I don't believe that a full arm, like a full hour, 45 minutes.
Biceps and triceps.
Biceps. Well, no. Biceps and triceps together, yes. You could do that, but not just biceps.
Yeah, separate's crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Now, have I heard of going in and you're limited on the time and you're just going to do biceps? Sure, because of time limitations or constraints. But if you actually have the time, what I tend to do is I tend to break up my the body parts where I do a major and minor, classic chest and tricep, let's say, back and bicep type of movements where you have a major and a minor body part. And then at the end of the week, I like to do, when I build out my programs, I like to do arms by themselves. And that could be completely changed up depending on if a person's got weaker biceps versus triceps, where I like to do, which ones I like to work out first. Obviously, I always like to get ahead of things with having the weaker body part first. So if you have weaker triceps, I like to start that off with, that arm workout with triceps. But I'm a big believer in doing a separate arm workout for people who have arms is a lagging body part, and I like doing them twice a week. So there are times where I've actually built out programs where they've done them even more often than that. But then what I'm doing is adding certain exercises in with other body parts just to keep the blood flow. And I think that it's really important to keep the workouts at least twice a week if it's a smaller body part like that, because they tend to recover faster. So calves can be trained more often, arms can be trained more often. So yeah, you can definitely do it separate bicep/tricep workout by itself, and then also doing it with a major and minor, and always start off your arm workout with your weaker body part. So if it's biceps that you're trying to really focus on, then start with that. Don't end with it, because you're going to be so tired from the tricep workout that you're going to do really, a poor job of being able to get that mind muscle connection on the weaker body part if you start off with the other one.
How many arm days does Phil have? Not that many?
Oh, dude. Are you kidding me? Phil's like the worst example ever. It was 2011. I'll give you a quick little story. I can't even believe you brought this up. Phil, 2011, we got into it 3 weeks out because I literally told him to stop training arms. And he actually it was like almost the whole prep. And then 3 weeks out, he's like, bro, my arms are shrinking. Da, da, da. And they weren't, but it was just in his head because he was getting so big everywhere else to his shoulders. And then I think he trained arms the last like 3 weeks, and he did like 3 or 4 workouts, and his arms just like, whoop. And because I knew that his arms would always grow really, really quickly. So I had to, literally tell him, stop training your arms,
But what's your favorite cardio machine for prep?
That's actually not true.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's try to
dive into the running situation.
Do some myth busting here.
Okay, let's do some myth busting.
All right. There's times where I've had Olympia level people run.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And now how they run and
men's open,
where they run. Yep. I've had people do it, man. I've had people do it.
Okay.
And how they've run, where they've run, all of those things. Mm-hmm. Now, are they going on long distance runs? No. Yeah. No. But, I have had my athletes sprint. I've had them do things where we've done uphill runs and sprints, stuff that's going to help with blood pooling and being able to really work the pump into the cardio. I'm a huge advocate of the step mill. I've started having people use step mill 20 years ago. Yeah. I'm probably the reason why Ronnie Coleman used step mill, because I had Ronnie Coleman's girlfriend start using step mill. So he bought one for her. And this is actually a true story. What happened was Alti was getting ready for a show, and I was having her do the step mill. He started using the step mill, and this is back in 2003, where he came in his heaviest. So again, did he lose his legs in 2003?
No.
Exactly. But he liked it so much when he was doing cardio that he ended up buying 2, because he could do cardio with her and had him right in his home gym. Yeah. So he could roll out of bed, do whenever he was supposed to do his cardio. But he started using the step mill because I had Alti using it. And then when he started using it, he started seeing more detail, and he liked it so much that, like I said, he ended up buying 2 of them.